Just about ready. It's going, but a little bit slow. There we go. And we are live.
All right, thank you, Janice. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for your patience. This is the May 4th Central Virginia Transportation Authority Fall Line Working Group meeting. And let's go ahead and do a roll call for attendance, Janice.
Certainly. Town of Ashland, Miss Amos. Chesterfield County, Miss Smith.
Here.
Miss Walker.
Here.
Hanover County, Mr. Vadunez. Henrico County, Chair Yor.
Here.
Miss Smidler.
Here. Here.
See, thank you. City of Richmond, Miss Clark.
Here.
VDOT, Mr. Mann.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Riblet. Miss McAdory.
Here. Good morning.
Good morning. Plan RVA, Mr. Parsons. And I just checked, I still don't have Mr. Parsons in. We'll continue with the roll. Mr. Bushing,
Here.
Mr. Ariel. Let's see. I believe that concludes the roll call, and we do have a quorum.
Okay, and I see Eric Gregory's been able to join us as well.
Good morning.
All right. So next item would be consideration of amendments to the meeting agenda. Janice or Miles or Eric, are you aware of any needed changes or amendment?
I haven't been made aware of any requested changes to the agenda.
Okay. Next item would be the approval of the minutes from the March 30th following working group meeting. Everybody's had a chance to review. Any corrections? Otherwise, we'll entertain a motion.
I don't see the agenda posted.
The only item in the agenda I saw was under the agenda was the VDOT meeting document. That's all I saw there.
Yeah, look under the 4th. They have the public meeting documents.
Oh, there, that's the 5th. Okay, right.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, me too. Sorry, the 5th was at the top of the page there. Sorry.
I made the same mistake. That's why I knew where to tell you to look.
Thank you.
So there's the agenda we're working off of. So we're on meeting minutes from the March 30th meeting.
Sharon Smidler, so moved
Thank you,
for
Sharon.
approval of the meeting minutes.
Do we have a second? I think somebody seconded it. Can you repeat?
Irana.
Thank you, Darana. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Public comment period. Janice, do we have anybody registered to provide public comment?
We do not. We have a couple people attending or watching virtually, but we haven't had any indication of anyone who wanted to speak.
Very good, thank you. Next item, we'll move into the VDOT updates. Shane and Liz, if you would like to go down the 3 items there: state budget update, design guidelines, and design build scenarios for the group.
Okay, I'll jump in first, Todd. Thank you. Obviously, we still have no state budget, so we really have no update on where funding for Fall Line or any other trails stand at this point. Hopefully, the deadline, I guess, is July 1 for us to have a budget. So I would hope by July 1 we would have a good budget in place and an idea of what funding we might have. So I'll let Liz cover the design guidelines and design build scenarios, and we'll tag team any questions anybody has.
All right, Shane.
So the design guidelines date, maybe you were at the last stakeholder meeting. Since then, we're still working on pulling the content together. We're still shooting to have a final document by the end of May. So we don't have a date for the next stakeholder meeting yet, but it's going to be the next couple of weeks, and hoping to get the consultant to send out something early next week to find dates. And I'll get to the public meeting in just a second, but we had lots and lots of questions about design, specific design elements, different parts of the trail last night at the meeting. So that was interesting. And it definitely showed that we need to finish these design lines up. So it's a good effort. As far as the design build scenarios, we've created VDOT, we being VDOT, have created UPCs for both the northern and the southern section. We are working with CVTA staff on the state project agreement. We've got a draft. I think it's pretty close, ready to go. We'll get to finalize that pretty soon, hoping again to get that to the June CTB meeting if possible. We're working on northern bundle. We're working on getting tire bundle. There's the smart scale UPC, which we already have federal exemption. We're trying to get the rest of it exempt from the federal process as well. So more to come on that. As you know, we have location public hearings, and we had the first one last night at Lewis Ginner. We had around 150 people. It was a really, really good turnout, really good meeting, lots of really good discussions on a variety of topics. So the next meeting again is tomorrow down at the Hilton Garden Inn in Colonial Heights, and we're hoping for a similar turnout. After we finish the public hearings, we have a 10-day extension for public comment. The next step really then for VDOT is to begin, we've already done a lot of the legwork for the RFP, but again, actually compiling the RFP so we can try to start working towards getting that out on the street. And we are still shooting to have it advertised by the end of this year. And that concludes my update unless there's questions.
Thank you, Liz. Questions for Liz or Shane? All right, here now I have a question, Liz, on the I'm sorry, the comments for the public meetings. How are you going to handle those, or is VDOT going to respond to all of them? If there's locality specific questions, are you going to direct them to localities? Or
That's a great question. We talked about that yesterday internally. We will, for anything like for City of Richmond and Henrico specifically, but anything locality specific, we plan on shooting it out to you guys. If you want us to handle it after that, we can coordinate and do that, but obviously it would be up to you all to decide that. And any general VDOT specific RFP, right of way stuff for on the part that we're going to maintain, obviously we'll answer all of those. And that's both for comments we received last night as well as ones that come in via email.
okay. Did you receive a lot of comments last night?
Yes. I don't know how, I haven't looked in the box, but I saw many people, writing down on their comment cards. So
right, yeah.
and we took a couple of verbal comments as well.
Very good. Yeah, it was definitely a good turnout, and appreciate all the folks on this call that were there in attendance representing their agencies or localities. So hopefully we'll get a good turnout tomorrow night, but not so many that won't fit in the room, which you almost had that problem beginning of last night. So
Yeah, we had a bit of a bottleneck.
all right, very good. Any other questions for Liz or Shane?
There's a comment in the chat from Georgia Coopersmith. How are you publicizing public meetings? Most of us only learned of it yesterday.
I guess I can jump in real quick.
Okay, sorry. I was
Liz
trying to
can
unmute.
follow up for whatever I missed. I know we've made a pretty valiant effort on social media and through our normal communications with media. I know I've seen it on some of the news stations that we were having these public hearings. And I know pretty sure the adjacent landowners, the ones that are affected, received USPS mail notification of the public hearing. So Liz, follow up on that.
Sure. Yeah, we sent over, I think it was 1,283 mailer cards specific to the public meeting. We had it on the local news channels, and we did do the typical social media boosts. We basically followed the VDOT public hearing guidelines for that, and then we did a little extra as with the mailer cards. Additionally, landowners that might be impacted for right-of-way were also notified via right-of-way letters, so they would have gotten notification twice.
And yeah, I noticed an
And it's
ad
also-
in the Chesterfield Observer.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think there was an ad in one of the Henrico local papers. And then we've also had it on our VDOT project website as well for about a month.
Yeah, it was in the Henrico Citizen, and it was published in our Henrico County newsletter, and Henrico County shared it on our social media, and I saw Hanover County did as well.
Awesome. That's a good effort.
Yeah, and I will say for the Henrico administered sections, we will be having follow-up public meetings as those projects advance through design, and we'll do our best to get word out to the not just only the adjacent property owners, but the community at large regarding those meetings coming up, probably starting June, July timeframe.
And VDOT will do the same for the design build section when we actually get to the design portion.
Okay, very good. Any other questions, comments on VDOT? All right.
There's
next-
another comment in the chat. Sorry.
Oh, no, thank you, Barb.
Again, from Georgia Cooper Smith. How about Richmond? The concern was that the plans deviated from what was originally discussed.
Dorana,
Oh, go ahead.
Dorana, do you want to field that, or you want Liz to?
Yeah, sure. I think this is Dorana here. I think that some of the confusion is the amount of reaching out based on the two sections that are moving forward into design build versus the entire route. And specifically, as everybody keeps saying, as we get closer into the design, there will be more public meetings for the segments as they move forward. And I'm not sure exactly what the comment meant in regard to change from the original design. I guess either she would have to explain further, or so that I can understand what she's talking about in respect to that.
And if I could add, just for clarification, the purpose of last night's meeting was to meet a CTV requirement for a location public hearing, meaning to get public input, to make the public aware and also get their input on the actual location, meaning the alignment, not specifically the design elements or typical sections that would have to be worked out later on for all the individual segments.
All right, very good. All right, moving on to the schedule and spending plan timeline for the remaining segments of the trail. So I guess we still don't have spending plans. We still don't know what the state budget numbers are going to be. I know for Henrico, we're probably going to need to update most of our cost estimates over the next several months, so we have a better idea on what our funding needs will be. So I will defer to anybody else in the group if they have any input on this item. Hearing none. Next item, locality updates on jurisdiction fall line trail projects. Anybody have any?
We do have another question in the chat. I didn't know if you wanted to address that now, but Mr. Phillipson, and I believe he's with Richmond, he said if it hasn't been discussed, can we address concerns about removal of trees in Northside Richmond?
Sure, we can go back to that comment. By Northside Richmond, we assume within the city limits. I guess, Dorana, do you have any feedback?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Yes, SWEV is our council District 2 and liaison. So thanks for joining us this morning. Yes, we did have a number of comments yesterday at the location hearing regarding the trees on Hermitage Road. And again, as we just stated, that goes down particularly to a design issue. So whether or not the shared path will be 10 feet, or there may be some accommodation for the trees that are along that area. And whether traffic analysis, again, all of those things are further down the road. We know there's existing bike lane there. It may be that the fall line goes on that existing bike lane, as it is right now. So currently that segment, as we look to, fulfill the funding, isn't funded at this time. So once we, we're still at the conceptual level. And so we have a lot of work, and we'll have lots of meetings as we get to that segment and discuss what the fall line will look like going down Hermitage Road.
Great, thank you, Dorana. And Janice and Barb, thanks for calling out questions that are coming into the chat, because I'm not keeping up with those. So, yeah, we're still on item 6, locality updates on jurisdictional fall line trail projects. Anybody have any updates on any of their sections? All right, hearing none, I think I've pretty much let everybody know where we are in our updates. So we're moving anywhere from, I think, roughly preliminary plans all the way up to 60% plans on our various sections. So those efforts are moving along. And next item brings us to future topics. Anybody have anything they want to add to the next agenda for the meeting scheduled on June 1st?
Todd, this is Diana.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess that we could get some update on how or what agreements need to be in place for the operational and traffic analysis for the downtown segment. Maybe someone can help tell me, maybe Eric, we could start to work on what that looks like so that we can begin moving that forward.
Well, as we discussed previously, I don't know if this will address those particular topics or not, but we received the initial draft SPA from VDOT last night, and it follows the standard format, which was incorporated into the MOA between VDOT and CVTA, which is what we all expected. So that draft, we're undertaking our review of that now, and we'll work on that. The idea being, the next being that will serve as a template for the SPAs, if you will, between the CVTA and those jurisdictions that are undertaking the project separate and apart from VDOT, and that is at Henrico and City of Richmond, I believe. So, that'll be the next step there, and I'm hoping, Dorona, that will address your issues or those questions, but we'll have to work on that and make sure they do.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any other items for the group? All right, Janice and Miles, you'll have to tell Chet he missed an exciting meeting and it went very smooth in his absence. So once we got started.
I believe we have Chet with us now. He was able to join at some point.
Okay, Chet, are you on?
You all have done a great job.
Thank you. Do you have anything for the group?
No, sir. I think we're all set.
All right, very good. Then if there's nothing else, our next meeting will be scheduled for June 1st. We'll be virtual again, 9 o'clock start time. So if there's nothing else, we may adjourn.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye, everyone.